Hi, my name is Koketso Mwatwane and you're watching Africa World TV. Comrade Nosa Joel, youth leader, tourism consultant, and researcher, speaks highly of the President and Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Jonathan Goodluck. Let's see what he has to say. Mr. Nosa, thank you for coming to our show. Just to start that, why are you supporting Jonathan Goodluck for 2015?
I thank KK for having me in your studio this morning. Jonathan Goodluck is, as you rightly said earlier on, is the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Jonathan Goodluck is a man that has a vision for the country. As I always tell people, if the policies he has brought on board, the team he has brought on board have been there since for the last 40 years, Nigeria would have stand shoulder to South Korea and those nations in the Western world. And I could remember on the 28th of February 2011, when he went for a rally in Yobe State, he raised Mohammed Goni's hand. He told the crowd that if you don't vote for this man, don't vote for me. And he take a very bold and honest president or aspirant, political aspirant, to say that. So that is what really drew me closer to him. And since then, I've been researching his policies. It's the way his team is working and the team is put together to make Nigeria a better and greater country. But so far, he has fared well. Even people think he's weak. But I always tell people that weakness is different from calmness. He's a very calm president, and that is his style. People want him to be aggressive or start shooting his political opponents. In his time, I've never heard any political aspirant or young person be killed. I think he's a person that really appreciates and respects talents. Like Bola Ige was not in his tenure. When Nigeria started democracy, Bola Ige was shot. Harry Marshall was shot. Dapodino from Ogun State, a very vibrant talent, was killed. But in his time, I've never heard such a thing. The civil societies, they are very robust since he came on board. So I think Nigerians should still support him and give him time to put his policies through. It will take a little while, but we'll get it. He is the most qualified Nigerian to run the country. I'm not saying it because he has a PhD, but I'm saying it in terms of experience. He knows what it takes to be a deputy governor, which he has been. He knows what it takes to be a governor, which he has been. He knows what it takes to be a vice president, and he knows what it takes to be a president. There's no Nigerian that have that experience. Buhari was 18 months old as a military president, but I don't think he has the experience of lobbying the House of Assembly to pass a bill that would directly affect the people of Nigeria. Rivado does not have any presidential experience. Atiku does not have any. He was a vice president for 8 years, but he has never been a president. So people always say, but Jonathan is weak. He is not weak. I will still tell Nigerians, there's one thing they don't know about him. He has a military background as well. He was a former custom officer. So for those reasons, I think he's in the best place and in position to still continue to pilot the affairs of Nigeria for the next few years. Because the policy you have started, we need continuity to make them sustainable. If we truncate those policies, I think Nigeria will retrogress to where we have started, we are coming from. So we don't want that to happen.
You run under a particular organization. Tell us a bit about that organization.
Yes, I support and work with the Busy Brain Academy. We are a team of young Nigerians in diaspora who really believe in the transformation agenda that is going on in Nigeria at the moment. So we just came together, started researching the policies since 1990 date, and we've come to the conclusion that we have to support the present administration because of the vibrant policies they had put in place. So we are just young men that came together as a team to do something for Nigerians who have not been voting, especially to vote this time.
So what are you and your group going to do differently to support Jonathan Goodluck 2015 ambition?
And what we have put in place to do is, which we have started anyway, we sow the ideas to few people, and our idea is basically Nigeria in diaspora, since we won't be allowed to vote this time. So we have come up with our whole idea to galvanize Nigerian diaspora. But when you say Nigerian diaspora, people always think Nigerians in Europe and America. It's not true. Nigerians in Chad, Sudan, South Africa, Mozambique, Brazil, United States, Ireland, so they are all Nigerian diaspora. If you live outside the shores of Nigeria, you are one of the members of Nigeria in diaspora. So when the first people we saw the idea for, they gave us 42 phones, but that is not really what we want now. We want people to give us numbers of their family and relatives at home. So during the period of election, we need to be calling them, mobilize them to tell them to go and vote for Jonathan Goodluck. We have basically taken Southwest as our catchment area because that is where the opposition headquarters lies. So we want people to go to African World's website, send us emails of their relatives at home. Secondly, if you want to join the movement, you can send us an email. We'll get in touch with you straight away. We want people who will volunteer their time, their phones, their money to support this movement. I was lucky enough to be a volunteer with the Bama campaign, and that really helped. So people were moving relatives and family out of their house to go and vote. Some people will even tell you that, no, we've gone to the police center. What do we do? They don't know what to do. So that is why Business Brain Academy came together to form this organization that will really work for Jonathan Goodluck presidency come 2015. We have already started spreading money. Some people want to send us money. No, we don't really need money. All we need is at least 10 numbers of your relatives back home. If you cannot call them, just send us those numbers. We'll call them. We have teams already in place that are willing to volunteer their cars to move people around. They are willing to volunteer their houses. So that is one of the things we are going to do differently. It works, and we are confident enough that we are going to mobilize at least 2 million people for Mr. President, starting from today. From what I was saying, I will still want the senior special advisor to the president on youth and students to join us in this our campaign to support Mr. President's ambition for 2015, because he has a very massive office that will organize the youth and students. But I think some of the things he's doing, he's not doing it rightly. For example, I was listening to him on an interview where he was talking on how he will select the delegates to represent youth on the confab, and he said he's going to do it through election. That was very, very wrong, because as an advisor on youth and sports, you should have, as soon as you're at home office, you should have a pool of people that will help you to identify talents. There are a lot of young people out there that are so talented, and those are the kind of people you work with from time to time. For example, you have a team in all the geopolitical zones. Some will be working on education, some will be working on health, some will be working on sustainable development, some working on environment. So those are the people that you have in bulk, like hundreds. For example, if things like this come up in emergency, you have a pool to grab people from and say, go and represent us. You have to feed their phones. You have to go to their brainstorming sessions from time to time. So you get them ready. If you are leaders, I've been to so many youth meetings all over the world, and sometimes I'm the only black person. Sometimes I'm the only African. So, but you never see Nigerians there. So, and there are a lot of opportunities abound for Nigerian young people. I will tell you another example. I've asked more than 40 people, 40 to 400 people, about who is representing Nigeria in ECOWAS. They don't know. Who is representing Nigeria in the AU? They don't know. What scholarship is accrued to Nigeria in the ECOWAS and the AU? They don't know. So even in the Commonwealth, so we need you to come out and support us in this drive to win the youth over. Because from the survey we just had, youth have the chunk votes, and the more the survey we had, the youth of Nigerians are ready to vote for Mr. President. You have a very big office. I'll give you an example. Julius Malema of South Africa was a youth leader, ANC Youth League president. I'm telling you, as of today, he's contesting the election with Mr. President because he had the support of a robust South African youth. I'll give you another example in Cote d'Ivoire. Charles Giddes. Charles Giddes is a youth leader. So he told Gbagbo that I will give you at least 2 million votes, and which he did in the election. So those are the kind of youth leader we need. We don't want somebody that will sit in Abuja, that will be from Abuja and be giving directives. No, we want you to come out, support this drive, and together, after post 2015, we should all be happy together. Okay, I'm going to tell you another thing. There's no, if all the countries I've visited in youth programs, they are deliberating on post-2015 Millennium Development Goal. Youths all over the world, from the conferences and meetings I've been to, they are deliberating on what their respective countries want to see in the post-Millennium Development Goal after 2015. But Nigerian youths are not deliberating. So those are the kind of pool we're talking about. We want you to have a pool of talents that will be representing our youth well. So we want you to do something about that. Get the youth together, let them brainstorm on what they want to see in post-Millennium Development Goal, and send it to the minister or whoever is coordinating the office of the Millennium Development Goal for them to take to the United Nations. So we have to deliberate. We don't leave the adults or the retires to deliberate for us, or other countries to do what they want and put it, or we just follow it. No, we have to have our say in the post-Millennium Development Goal.
Yes, sir. Do you believe in change, and what is your understanding on the word democracy?
I really believe in change, and not just change. I believe in positive change, transformational change, and change that is sustainable. And my own idea of democracy is for a politician to say their idea to the people, and the people vote for them. Which people always say the government of the people, for the people, by the people. It's not always government for the people, or by the people, or for the people. It is always government of some people's pocket. But my idea is different. You have to say your idea to the people, and the people vote for those ideas.
Why are you not in support of APC candidates to be the next president of Nigeria?
I am not supporting APC. Not that it's a very bad party, but I think it's a time bomb waiting to explode. APC are a collection of politicians who they think they could not achieve their political agenda in one party, and they move from party to party, which is very wrong for our democracy, and it's not a good example for new next generation and for young people. So for that reason, APC is not a party that can take over leadership of Nigeria. As I'm talking to you now, they don't even have a presidential candidate. They have a lot of political heavyweights teaming up to take over next administration, but they don't have a political candidate that could run for the president. I'll give you an example of the United States, which we copy and paste their democracy. Barack Obama started 2004 because he became president in 2008. David Cameron started in 2005 because he became the conservative leader in 2010, which he became the prime minister. So you need years to prepare. Nigeria president is not an internship that somebody will just come from nowhere and become president. So you have to be prepared, say your agenda, manifest it to the people. When the people buy it and they vote for it. So that is not a party that I feel will be able to do something for the nation. APC, some of the states, they have done really well because in one time or the other in our lives, we have pledged to be faithful, loyal, and honest. That is a oath every Nigerian who attended kindergarten or primary school have taken. So in this system, you have to be fair, I have to be faithful, loyal, and honest as well. Some APC governors have done really well, and I will use my state, Edo State, as an example. Governor Shomole did a good job. When he took over power, I told myself I would not visit Edo State for 4 years. And believe you me, when I went to Edo State after 4 years, there was a lot of changes. So for that, I think APC might be able to work with the grassroots, but not for the president. They might maybe in the future. At the moment, they are not ready.
Have you seen the strength of APC's manifesto?
Yes, I've read through I've read through their manifesto on their website. For example, they said the APC we provide 40,000 megawatts of electricity in 4 years, but they never told Nigeria how they are going to achieve it or how they are going to do it differently for what President Jonathan Goodluck is doing. President Jonathan Goodluck have told Nigerians and the world that government have no business in electricity, which that is the system that is adopted all over the world. And he has privatized all the three sections of the power authority. So I don't know for now what the APC is going to do differently. They said they are going to train young people or encourage young people to go into agriculture, but they have not told Nigerian young people how you transform your planting into money, because you don't just plant, but you have to be a good supply chain management where you plant straight to the shop, back to your pocket, because all over the world farmers are the richest people. So I have taken so many people around to some farms in Europe and other countries. You see in some farmers' quarters, they hang two helicopters at the top of their houses. So that shows that farming is the next phase, especially for young people. They said they will build 4,000 kilometer highways for Nigerians. So we don't know the states or how they are going to do that. What they always write in their manifesto is APC will. They said they will provide 20,000 jobs per state. How are you going to do it? Is it through farming? Is it through agriculture? They have not told us. They said they will increase life expectancy by 10 years. They have not told us how they are going to do it. Life expectancy in most countries is done by nutrition. Like in Nigeria, for example, as the headquarters of the black race, it's very prominent among them, the high blood pressure is prominent among black people. But we still consume a lot of salt. But in the West, where they don't have much of high blood pressures, they have salt that is 60% less sodium. We don't have that in Nigeria. They have milks that are fortified with calcium, extra calcium, iron, and so on. We don't have those kind of things in Nigeria. So they need to tell us how they are going to expand the life expectancy of Nigerians. They said they are going to give free education to girls from primary to tertiary institution, but not for boys. I think that is discriminatory policy. They said they will reintroduce 6334 system, which is already there. But we want them to tell us how they are going to do it better from how it is. It's not just UNESCO definition of education is not just the four walls of a classroom. It's how the teacher will impart this knowledge, the new strand of teaching. That is what the world is doing at the moment. There's nowhere in their manifesto that they measure tourism or research. Tourism is after agriculture, it is tourism. There are many countries in the world that don't have oil, they don't have anything. The only thing they depend on is tourism, but there's none in Nigeria. You have Ikongosi water spring in Nigeria. It should be placed among the wonders of the world. Where they said it's a spring where hot and cold water come out from the same source. There's no other place in this world that you find that. So they don't have it in their manifesto. There's nowhere in their manifesto that they say they will bring back the Nigerian Airways. But why? Because people like Tinubu want to bring in their aircraft when they become president. They don't have those in their manifesto. They said in their manifesto, they said coal is a renewable energy, which is wrong. It's a fossil fuel. If you say in the year 2035, United States wants to ban cars run by fossil fuel. So if they ban it, that means Nigeria will rely mainly on oil. We will have no place to, we will have no part in those kind of world, because that means the next generation will suffer a lot. So oil might not go dry, but what about if the West stop buying? The EU said they will ban petrol and diesel driven cars by 2050 to slash oil dependency and to tackle climate change. So they have not really told us how they are going to make those things relevant. They said they will introduce history teaching in our primary schools, which is a very good program. But they have not taught us what those history books will entail. I have read history books that cut across different countries, and they have history of context, history of the country, for example, history of Nigeria, and history of the past and present leaders. So APC does not they are not really ready to pilot the affair of Nigeria. They said they will introduce telemedicine, but they have not told us they will bring in high-speed internet. They have not told us how they will bring the telemedicine to the people in the rural area. So APC, they are not ready to pilot the affair of Nigeria. They said they will reintroduce, they have not said, there's no place in APC manifesto that indicates research. I will tell you, a few days ago, I was in a conference organized by ECO UNESCO. Young people young people that have intellectual young people with brains, but they are researchers. So when they found out I was in Nigeria, they came to me and said, look, we are doing a research recently. It's an ice bank to coal buildings. I knew we are doing those research for the Nigerian market because they know that money is there. So I was shocked. This kind of research that Nigeria should be doing, and we'll start selling those technology. But there's no place in APC manifesto that indicates they will encourage research. So for those reasons, I don't think that they have anything to offer Nigerians. And they don't have any plans to send teachers to rural areas, not just sending them there, what will keep them there. They don't have plan to introduce hospital with special surgeries. They don't have plan. In Edo State, for example, they have mother and children hospital, but they don't have children hospital in the Edo State. So I doubt if they have any in Lagos. So for those reasons, I don't think APC are ready.
Yeah. Is Nigeria at war?
That is an understatement. Nigeria is not at war. Nigeria is one of the most peaceful nations in the world. I would say something. Police don't stop crime. And they only show up after the crime have been committed. I'm not just saying Nigerian police all over the world. They only show up when the crime has been committed. So likewise, Nigeria, we have 3 states at the moment that is really giving the country a hard time. Borno, Bauchi, and Yobe. Borno State being the epicenter. We've experienced a lot of terrorist activities in that region very recently. I would not mention their name because their name is not worth mentioning. Because that is what is making them a bit proud. People are mentioning their name all the time. When you listen or read newspaper, you always hear their name. But I'm not going to mention their name in granting this interview. I'm sorry about that. So those groups have taken up arms against Nigerians, killing Christians, Muslims, killing their brothers and sisters. And it is sad that at this trying time, it has cost Nigeria a lot of money. The attention they are supposed to divert toward development, they are taking those attention to Bauchi, Borno, and Yobe states. So what I will advise Nigerians is we should be our own security, because everything shouldn't be government. If you see you suspect anything in your area, you run to the law enforcement agency. But some people said the last bomb in Yaya, some people saw some suspicious movement. They went to the law enforcement, but they did not take them seriously. And that is a very big thing of concern. But the defense minister have said something regarding that, and he have assured Nigerians that when you get any suspicion, people are filming unnecessarily. People you have never seen in your vicinity, they are always there, monitoring or whatever. You report them to the security apparatus. So that is the only way we'll be able to sort these things out. The Nigerian military, fair play to them. I honestly thank them for the job they have been doing. They have done exceedingly well. They have shared their family with the country. Some have died in the battlefront, and it's a call to duty for Nigerians to have a very good insurance in place, because those people, they have removed most of their source of income, the breadwinners, away from them. So they should have insurance in place that with good reputation that will be able to take care of those trying times. This is another call to duty for Nigerians to have blood banks. Blood banks should be a thing of voluntary. People should donate blood. But in Nigeria, people do it as money-making machine. So that is another call to duty, that we should voluntarily donate blood to this kind of cause. It's another call to duty for Nigerians to have specialized trauma hospitals, especially in those volatile regions. So for those reasons, I think security is not, as I've said earlier, security is not just for the government, it's for everyone. But I want to specially appeal to two persons that I know very well, Senator Alimodu Sheriff and Senator Abba Bukar Ibrahim of Yobe. So those are political heavyweights, and their people love them so much. Senator Alimodu Sheriff is from Borno, and he's a stakeholder in Borno State, either people like it or not. But I will personally appeal to them to write a nationalist policy to Mr. President, which I know he will listen, for them to join in these fights against those terrorist groups, because they might have more say in the politics at the moment, because it is their own state. It is sad they are killing their people, using our girls as sex slaves. Our teenage girls have been kidnapped, so it is not a good thing in Borno State and Yobe. So Senator Alimodu Sheriff and Senator Bukar Ibrahim should do something. They should support the federal government in this fight, because I know that they will be able to do something very, very tangible in this cause. Thank you.
Now, do you think that the national confab will ever work?
Yes, it will work, and it's an opportunity Nigerians, especially young people, have been waiting for, to really air their anger. People are angry in Nigeria, to be honest with you. It will work. But if I were the president, maybe I would have done something differently. I would have, because 90% of everyone in the confab are doing voluntary work. People say, why should they are paying them 12 million? It's too much. 12 million is not money to, if I should use this Danjuma as an example. If she wants to give out her platelets to design a special cream for her body, 12 million wouldn't pay for that. Somebody like Peter Odili, if he wants to get a wristwatch that he really wants, 12 million wouldn't pay for that. So invariably, every one of them are doing voluntary work. So that is what the presidency should have done. So they should have said, look, 3 months to, look, we want people to volunteer. Nigeria don't have money. Because all over the world, people don't pay you to attend confab. Nigerians need to do things voluntarily. Nigeria needs to do things for their country. Nigerians need to sacrifice. So that is what I would have done. I will write to hotels. We have 450 delegates for this. Any room you can donate will be welcome. There are many hotels that will donate free rooms for those delegates. Every week, you take special thank you on behalf of Nigerians to them on the national TVs. So that would have been a very good thing, what I would have done. In terms of feeding, those hotels will feed them, give them accommodation, and spending 7 billion, maybe we will have spent 3 billion, and channel, redirect the other 4 billion to tackle security in the Northeast. So far, so good. the response, the feedback we are hearing, the delegates are really putting serious efforts to make sure they have a good feedback and results from this national conference.
For you, is it right for Wale Soyinka to reject the centenary honor?
The centenary awards given to Wale Soyinka was not given by President Jonathan Goodluck. It was given to Wale Soyinka by 170 million plus or minus Nigerians, both in Nigeria and in diaspora. So it was totally wrong for him to reject it, because the centenary honor only comes once, maybe once in every 100 years. So for him to reject it and taking Abacha as an excuse for rejecting the award was highly disrespectful to Nigerians. So General Sani Abacha was, the late Abacha was a military administrator in Nigeria who was not a very good man to many people, but he still did some good things. I will tell you, the vision 2010 was Abacha's vision. Obasanjo came in and had vision 2020. Yaradua came in and have 7-foot agenda. Jonathan Goodluck now have transformation agenda. They are all babies born by Abacha's vision. Before Abacha left, he left like $9 billion. So people might have misused those funds, but they don't hold them accountable because they are still political warlords and they are still alive. So let the dead bury the dead, and we have to move on. Nigeria shouldn't be trapped in the past because of what one person have done or what other person is doing. So we need to move on, and with this administrator who have brought together every head of state in that centenary celebration. Most head of state from all over the world attended. So it was very, very wrong for him to have rejected it. Maybe he was trying to imitate what Chinua Achebe did as well, but that was wrong. And I wouldn't say you should hide yourself in shame, but you should apologize to Nigerians, because it's not all about Jonathan Goodluck. Even though you don't like him in person, or you don't like his personality, or you don't like his policies, you shouldn't reject the centenary honor. Thank you.
As a student leader, you were a socialist, but now you are supporting a capitalist government. Why?
Socialism, like this university I went to, socialism can work on campuses. You cannot say capitalist idea on campuses. In my own school, and it will work. So, but in the outside world, it might not work. But I will tell you something. Hugo Chavez of Venezuela made us to know that, he proved it, that socialism can work side by side democracy and capitalism.
Now, recent data released shown Nigeria has one of the highest rate of abortion in the world. What is Jonathan government doing about this?
I am not in Jonathan Goodluck administrator or his cabinet, but I will be able to make comments and suggestions as well. But one thing I will still say before I start is, the wife, the patient Goodluck, is filling the gaps for Mr. President. And the area where Mr. President is not too focused, she's taking the lead. And don't forget, she does not even have a pet program. She has an NGO. And she's working to improve maternal mortality and reduce child mortality. And she's working with cyber crimes. She's trying to achieve universal primary education, trying to eradicate extreme anger, which is the main pillars of Millennium Development Goal. So for abortion in my own opinion, for abortion to take place, maybe the lady involved deem it fit in her own best interest. Maybe, for example, if you are in a first year in the university and you got pregnant, in my culture in Nigeria, I don't think out of 100 parents, it's only one that will continue to pay your school fees. So in the girl's best interest, she might go and terminate it. Second, if the woman's life is at risk. For example, if the baby is growing out of the womb. For example, if a father rape a daughter. So those things are what makes people to commit abortion. So most people do it not because they have fun doing it. In Nigeria, if you tell somebody you do abortion, it's like a taboo. But it happened every hour, every minute of the day. I have to be honest. But one thing I'm against is encouraging the government to do is to take it away from the hands of criminals. I will tell you, in 2003, I was traveling from Oka, Anambra State to Benin. So there was a girl to my left, and she was bleeding furiously from her legs. And the woman beside her was, what happened to you? Did you do abortion? She said, yes, she did abortion. Where did you do it? He said, Oka, in the chemist. So you will see that most people don't even go to hospital because they don't think that that is the right place to go. Their friend will recommend those chemists. And those chemist men are not trained. They are just there as a salesman, but they are performing series and series of abortions every day and every night. So the government really have to step up the regulation and take that abortion of a thing from the hands of criminals.
What is your post-2015 message for the president if he is elected?
I will tell Mr. President, post-2015 election, he should invest massively in research and development. Because and not just research and development, research and development that will directly affect the life of the people. One, we should, since I was born, the blocks, which we normally call blocks, that they use in building houses, have remained the same. I don't think in this 21st century, Nigeria should have been using air conditioning or fan. So we should do research that will get blocks that will be able to cool or stabilize the internal condition of the house. And we have to start selling those technology to other countries. We should go and do that research I was telling you about the ice bank that will cool the building for a week, not just 7 calendar days, not just 5 working days, but 7 calendar days. So we should invest more on tourism, because tourism has not started at all in Nigeria. Not just invest in tourism that will go abroad and think the West will start coming. No, it doesn't work that way. We should start with domestic tourism. Domestic tourism will cut across regional tourism before international. So we should first of all work with our kids. For example, the kids maybe in Benin don't even know Urumi. They don't know anything that happened there. And they have a lot of tourist attraction in every state. Nigeria is the best country. So we really need to invest more on tourism. For example, that was why I praised the history they want to reintroduce by the APC. If you are teaching history in school, history basically is 20% classroom based and 80% tourist based. So when you are telling somebody about Lagos Museum, or for example, Murtala Muhammad was killed, when you tell them in class, Murtala Muhammad was killed, 60% of the kids, they will come in from this ear and go out from the other ear. But when you bring them to National Museum, they see the car and everything. It sticks. So we need to bring our education from just classroom based to critical thinking and tourism based and so on. So I will encourage the president to take a very bold step to invest in tourism. There's another thing that makes my heart bleeds, because since my grandfather was born, Nigeria have been investing a lot of money in Saudi and Israel pilgrimage. It does not make any English sense to me. We should redirect those funds to do research and invest it in tourism. One of the pillars of Islam state that you should go to Hajj, but on the condition if you can afford it. If you have properties, you sell the property and go to Hajj. It's once in a lifetime. If you can't afford it, Islam totally forgives you. But if you have the money and you don't use it, it is a sin against Allah. So there's nowhere in the Quran that said the government should pay for you to go to Hajj. It was just some cool men that brought those systems in. For them to make juxtaposition it, they say, okay, well, Christians have to go to Israel, which makes sense, but it's a waste of funds. So we should redirect those funds to something better. Nigeria need to do researches that will employ people, researches that will sell the technology, researches that will create jobs. For most of the jobs in most Western world are being created by research. We should, like this new evil that is visiting Nigeria, this terrorist stuff, we can do research that will get some these sensors built. We have mechanical engineers, we have electrical engineers, computer scientists. If you take 40 each from those three courses I've mentioned, you tell them, develop a sensor machine that when you put it on the road, if you have arms on your car or your bus and you go through it, it will signal the next police checkpoint and they will search those cars. They can do it. If we can get those kind of research right, we can sell those technology, because the world has become very, very unsafe after 9/11. So every country is trying to think, how do we solve the security issue? Nigeria have the population, we have the brain power to do those things, but we have not invested yet on it. I will say, urge Mr. President to cap the fees paid by to those federal private universities. The fees are out of proportions. So education is for everyone. I know private university is owned and run by individuals, but I think the government have a say in that as well. They should cap the fees. If it is 300,000 naira, let it be cross-board. Some are 1 million, some are 2 million, some are 500,000. So it doesn't make any sense. The federal universities as well, they should have harmonized school fees, because most of our kids, our students, are going to Ghana to attend one building university. So that does not make sense. The government should build more school, or if they can't build more school, expand on the one they have, add more courses. For example, I'll give you an instance. The Nollywood they have added it to one of the, during this GDP rebates in Nigeria, they have added Nollywood to it. But there's no university in Nigeria that is offering film production. There's no university that is offering cinematography. There's no one that is offering complete costume artists. But what we still have is theater arts. So it doesn't make sense. So we need to really invest in education, invest in research and development. And we see urge Mr. President to have a minister for research and innovation, because that is where the world is going, with somebody with international repute and experience. So in his next cabinet, I want him to get rid of some offices that are not useful. There are a lot of them there, which I don't want to mention anyway. They are not useful. But we need research and development, especially for young people. And we should send all those professors that are chief executive officer and MD of agency and parastatal back to classroom. Nigeria have the highest number of professors holding political offices in the world. So, but in Nigeria, still have the highest number of doctors, PhD candidates, being supervised by fresh PhD holders. So that will not make our educational system grow. We don't need to have a professor in the cabinet to run the country. Ngozi Willa is not the professor. Mr. President himself is not the professor. Most prime ministers and presidents all over the world, they are not professors. The man that brought Brazil from zero to hero, President Lula da Silva, the former president of Brazil, did not go to university. So, but he brought Brazil. If you cannot debate about these words, now we start calling Brazil to the table. So that is where the world is going. We should send them back to classroom, let them go back to classroom and do the work of a professor. We need to be bringing out good and quality students from our universities.
So what is your personal message or advice for the youth, Nigerian youth people?
First, I will tell them to be patient with the policies and program of Mr. President. I will urge them to pay more attention to reading, because I will tell you that I have so many friends who are APCs. They don't even know anything about their manifesto. It's a shame. So they should go to the websites, read their manifesto, and ask questions. Because most politicians will come, I will do this, I will do that, I will do that. But we never ask, how will you do it? If a politician comes to you and say, I'm going to put bin in your streets to carry your refuse, tell them how they are going to get those funds, to fund that. Where will they transfer those bin to? Because they might put bin there, it will be filled and will cause another environmental problems. So we need to start asking the question. If they say we are going to build 50 classrooms, if you build, because building 50 classrooms, you are building a capacity. But what about the carrying capacity? Our politicians don't say that. Carrying capacity is basically when you say don't litter the streets, you have to put the carrying capacity, you put the bin there. If you say don't litter, you have to have the carrying capacity for people to dump their refuse. So it is simple. If you are building 50 classrooms, where are you going to get the teachers from? If you get those teachers, are they trained? If they are trained, are they properly trained? If they are properly trained, are they trained to handle kids? If they are properly trained to handle kids, why are you sending them to secondary school where they are trained to handle kids? So those are the questions we have to start asking. We shouldn't be listening to, I will do this. How will you do this? Is what young people should be asking. I will still say another thing. See, a friend of mine told me some time ago, Nigeria flood to Cotonou to buy cars. And most of those cars they buy, they're cheap. Some of them are what they use in transferring radioactive material from one zone to another point in those war-torn countries. And we buy them, people start dying. You will be dying, you will not, they will diagnose you, nothing is happening. Because when you get a radiation poisoning, it will be very, very difficult to diagnose. If they start blaming their families, it's witchcraft of this. So we should be buying cars from our country. Because they will sell them to those Lebanese and they will ship those cars to Cotonou and Nigeria will flood them and say, cars are cheaper in Cotonou. But they are buying debt with their hands. So Nigerian young people should be asking questions. They should be their own security. I will give you, people are always talking about Bauchi, Bronu, and Yobe. But there's another epicenter in the west, southwest, that people don't talk about until it becomes very serious before Nigerians, young people will start talking. In the issue of using people as human rituals, I would prefer to be killed by a bomb than to be used as to make money. So it is very happening now, very rampant, especially in Ogun State. It's the epicenter. So young people should be aware. Young people, before you bought a bus or a taxi, test the number of that box or taxi to your family that I've taken this bus, I'm going from Ibadan to Lagos. This is the number of the car or the bus or the transport I have taken. So we should be our own security. We should devise a way to protect ourselves. Because it is sad, like the last two weeks ago, I was watching it on television. What the governor have to do is to knock down the building, and there were a lot of bodies littered everywhere. People don't talk about it because they say, their families are not involved. But it's a very serious issue that young people have to be aware of. We have to be vigilant. Security is not for the government alone. Security is everybody's business. As people will say, be your own prophet. So I will always say, be your own security. Thank you.
We also believe that you're a big fan of the President Barack Obama. Do you have a message for Mr. Obama?
Yes, I'm his fan and I'm happy to say this because the whole world is watching, that I gave him more than 30 votes. So Mr. Obama, not just him, all the Western leaders that is against Nigeria, that are not happy with Nigeria per se because of the anti-gay law that was passed. I want to clarify a little issue in that. That anti-gay law is not to discriminate against gay people. I have gay friends and they are very nice. It is to protect them. Because in the north, if you are suspected in the northern part of Nigeria, they might even stone you alive. They might even behead you, cut your hands. In the south, jungle justice takes place every day. They burn some alive. So, but since the law came into effect, the people cannot arrest you illegally and bring you to this police station. So it's not left for the state apparatus to do their job. But before the law came into effect, people just take law into their hand and say, though these people are gay, and they start killing them. So I want to tell the world leaders that that law is not to work against the gay community. It is to protect them. Thank you.
That was Comrade Nosa Joel. If you're looking for more information, just visit this email below or africaworldnewspaper.com. My name is Koketso Motlani and you're watching Africa World TV. Thank you.